Either place.
Okay.
I'm going to contact you.
Okay.
Unless you, I mean, that's you, but she said that you wanted.
Yes.
Hey, Damon.
Good morning, Ms. Thibodeau. I have you on speakerphone. I'm here at HR with Mrs. Powell and Alief Police.
Okay, okay.
Hi, Veronica.
Hi.
Hi. I've asked Mr. Barone to come in to meet with us just to get some clarification on his administrative leave. So we're going to just kind of express to him why we brought him in. Damon,
Okay.
as we received the information, the charge that you had is a pretty severe charge.
Right.
And so when we first talked, I told you were allowed to drop your child off, but we're going to go ahead and say not to enter school grounds at all.
Okay.
So in saying that, that means if you find someone else to drop her off or a location where she can not be on school grounds.
Okay, wait a minute. As an employee,
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Barone, as an employee, is restricted to entering Alief facilities.
Correct, and school grounds.
As a parent, we're talking about Mr. Barone now as a parent, and I think the district is now overreaching.
Well,
Because you cannot deny him his rights to attend the school, to drop his child off, to pick his child up, or to attend parent-teacher conferences. Here is where you all have to make some exceptions. If you want Mr. Barone chaperoned by Alief Police, or if you want Mr. Barone chaperoned by building administration, that is allowable. Mr. Barone cannot be discriminated against as a parent, and any different from any other parent who's been teamed by the Raptor system.
All right.
Correct?
Ms. Thibodeau, how are you, ma'am?
I'm fine. Who am I speaking with?
This is Bonaparte, ma'am. How are you today?
Oh, I'm good. How are you, Mr. Bonaparte?
Doing well.
Officer Bonaparte.
Here's
Good.
the context under which we're dealing, okay? And dropping the child off does not necessarily include being on school property. A scheduled meeting with, in terms of the child's academic progress, that will be a scheduled meeting and we will supervise that. What we're talking about are things like if he shows up 10 minutes early and you have to sit in the car line waiting to pick the child up, okay? That's not necessary, okay? So in no way are we infringing on his parental rights at all. What we're asking is that he stay clear of Alief property with the exception of dropping off or picking up a child exclusively. And that's and you know that child can walk to, how's your child, sir?
She's 8.
I can even arrange to have someone walk her to the curb to pick you, so that you can pick her up. That's not an issue, okay? But that's where we are. So we're not even talking about infringing upon parental rights at all. You know, we're talking about employee relations, and the bottom line is that employees in the same situation have been given the same directives, okay, in terms of Alief property, okay?
Well,
What exacerbates this situation is he does have a child in the school, and we're cognizant of that.
Okay. Okay, so then let me say, Mr. Barone is not entering any Alief facilities. The only facility of Alief that he's dealing with is the campus in which his child attends school. Now, here the district is seeking to treat him differently from any other parent. I am pretty sure all the parents that sit in the line 10 minutes before school has been dismissed. One of them have a felony. Unless you can provide us with proof that none of them do, then why is Mr. Barone being singled out as that point?
All right, you start.
His only intent is to drop his child, because nothing should change for his child. He's going to drop his child off at school, and he's going to pick his child up from school. He's not getting out of the car and going into the building. He's not, I don't know how early. How early do you show up, Mr. Barone?
Oh, it was told to me that the pickup line, they start at 2 o'clock because it gets backed up around the corner. So I'm not at work, so I get there at 2 and I wait an hour as opposed to getting there at 3 and waiting another hour and a half or whatever just to have my daughter brought to the vehicle. It was told to me that I could have her do a walker line, but then that would require me to get out of my car and then come up to her and pick her up and bring her back to my vehicle.
So, Mr. Brown, is there another way that, can someone else drop her off while we're going through this process?
People are at work. I mean, my wife works for the school district as well, so she has to go to work and get off at the same time.
So, because of the seriousness of this allegation as an employee, we're going to ask that you do not enter grounds.
I have no intention on going inside of the school building.
So, Henry, dropping off?
Dropping off isn't an issue, because that's just, you just pull up and she gets out of the car. Is that correct?
Right, and I walk it the same way I've been doing for 3 years.
If the district wanted to appoint Ms. Barone a specific time, I'm sure he would be okay with complying with that to pick his daughter up. But we're talking about not upsetting the child's schedule and making it.
And then my daughter's going to be looking like, what's going on because I'm getting...
She's being punished as well in this situation. And that we're not infringing upon or discriminating against Mr. Barone's parental rights.
And I'm not in any way naive that the charges are serious. I am also understanding that, like I told you before, with all these other instances where I was filing grievances, a person can accuse me, and I've said this before we've gotten to this point, a person can accuse another person of anything. That does not mean that they are guilty.
Well, it's kind of difficult to know anything because you've chosen not to speak.
No, I've given you my attorney's
Right.
number and told you could speak to my attorney, or I can make a statement in front of my attorney. So I have not chosen to speak. I told you that you deserve to have me speak. However, I will not speak outside of the context of having my attorney present for legal purposes.
And I understand you're protecting yourself. I don't have a problem with that. And I understand that a charge is different than a final finding. Okay?
Right.
But what we're looking at, honestly, is we're looking at the type of charge that we're looking at is one that if we were to turn this situation completely around, okay, and you have a child, okay, and you were aware that someone other than yourself was involved in the same, not incident, but charge, charge only, okay, you would have reason to be concerned.
And I agree with you, but I also felt like me not entering the school was, for lack of better words, punishment enough. I felt like me complying with, and that's the reason why actually dropping my daughter off and picking my daughter off, I don't feel as though anyone who would have the same charge or even higher would be violating anything. I'm dropping my daughter off, I leave, I'm picking my daughter up when it's convenient, because I just have to wait in line.
Are you not getting out of the car?
No, absolutely not.
Not walking
No.
to the...
I'm parked if you come up there this afternoon,
I'm very familiar with.
I'll be parked in a line waiting behind 4 or 5 other cars.
I'm very familiar with that. Yeah, but you see, and there again, I think you hit on the crux of it, okay? And that is that hour plus that you're sitting there, okay?
Okay, if someone wants to bring my daughter out so I don't have to wait, if you say be there at 3 o'clock and somebody walk them out to the car, that works, that would help me out.
And if I can work that out?
Oh, that'd be perfect. I'll show up at 3:01 on the dot, y'all walk her out.
And let me ask you, since that's your building, and I've got like 50 of them in my head, what's the what's the car ride line? Lock at 3 o'clock.
It's very
They're
long.
working
But
out
I'm
a
not familiar with
situation,
it because yes, can you hear me? Can you hear me? I'm not familiar with, I know it's very long, wrapped around the corner,
Yeah,
but
but
my daughter and I normally leave through the daycare line.
Damon?
Yes,
Damon?
yes.
Yeah, but before we go any further, Dr. Powell, could you call me on your landline?
Sure, yeah,
You know,
you're losing
I'm
I'm
function.
breaking up,
I apologize.
and I'm afraid the call was dropped.
Yeah, this building's fast.
All right, you wanna hang up with there and I'll just.
Yeah, well, she can click over as soon as she's
right,
gonna
we're
call
gonna
you
call
on her landline.
Let me get myself.
Yeah, if she could call me on the landline, because you're breaking up pretty bad, and,
All
Okay.
right, we're calling you.
She's coming right now. She's trying to call you on her landline right now.
okay, thanks.
Okay. I'm gonna just wait until she reaches out to you. She's dialing now.
So you're making arrangements?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the easiest thing, and then we don't, because this is,
Is your line ringing?
Veronica?
Hello?
Veronica?
yes, ma'am.
Hang up.
Hello? Hello?
Did she hang up on that
No,
one?
she's still connected here.
Yes. Yeah, what you got?
Tell her we'll call on this one.
Yeah, she just called just failed, so it just disconnected.
Veronica? Oh, that's bad. I keep hearing noises. It's his radio. Veronica? Can you hear us?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, just a second. I think Captain Bonaparte walked outside. Hold on just a sec.
Okay.
Veronica?
Yeah.
Okay, we're back in. All right, Mr. Barone and Captain are trying to figure out a way to make an arrangement,
Yeah.
so that's where we left off.
Okay.
Yeah, because the dropping off, I think we pretty much got that, that's not an issue.
How will you
I didn't know
arrange
that
it?
any of it was an issue, so
So how will you arrange it?
I'll get with a staff member between, with old principal over there and his assistant principal will arrange for,
Pickup.
yeah, for pickup at,
so that's what's basically happening. They upset that I'm over there picking up my daughter like everybody else.
Well, with the seriousness of the charge,
But it's not like I'm
we discussed
doing.
it at leadership level, and we just felt it was more appropriate for you to do it that way. Okay? All right. I think they've come to an agreement on where they're going to pick up. Henry's going to work with Mr. Barone on that.
Great,
Well, the issue hasn't been resolved. It's just the concern has been displayed. So there hasn't been a resolution to what's going to take place for me picking up my daughter.
Well, you're okay with working with Henry?
I mean, I'll facilitate it. I don't have a problem with facilitating.
Yeah, it's not whether I'm okay with it or not,
All right.
because I thought what I was doing was already okay.
So
Well, see, what happened, well, and I'm gonna tell you that other individuals in the same situation that haven't had the complication of having a child in a building, okay? So they've been considered off limits, period, and it's been.
So you're gonna make
you know,
arrangements.
So
to
what
work.
we're doing is, this is a different situation, a unique situation in itself, and we have to work out the logistics, but, Mr. Thibodeau was very articulate and saying that you're being discriminated against, and no, actually, what's happening is the script is actually flipped, because the other individuals in like circumstances are not allowed anywhere.
They wouldn't be allowed to pick their children
They
up?
are not allowed, only because they don't have children. So you throw that extra element into this.
No, I'm saying if someone else had a child, they would not be
I
allowed.
can't say, no. What I'm saying is, I got 6,000 employees, so out of 6,000 employees, there are gonna be one or two in like situations.
Oh, you're talking about employees?
Right.
I got you.
So I have employees.
I guess I was just talking as a parent,
No,
a parent.
No, I'm saying I have similar situations where the parenting issue is not an issue, but the people have been barred completely from campus, period, okay?
Right.
You-
And that's because they're in the context of an employee. Mr. Marone has I guess you can say
An unusual circumstance.
yes, and a
Yeah,
coexisting relationship with the district.
Which is
You
why,
know, the employee is also a parent.
which is why we're here right now, trying to work through that nuance, because that is not an issue.
Well, actually, if we were to really address that, as far as an employee, Ms. Marone is not entering any Alief ISD facilities,
Or grant.
period.
Okay.
He's not even entering Mahoney, although he has, as a parent, he has the right to pick up his child and drop his child off. So he's actually, accommodating the district a little bit more as a parent than he really has to be. Because he has met the criteria as an employee. But when it comes to him being a parent, the district wants to also reserve the right to tell him he can't approach the facilities when he
No,
can.
I think you're complicating it. Did you understand my point, which is that,
But with the exception of being chaperoned. However, once again, Mr. Barone is going to cooperate. He does want to make sure that the district is not, feeling the weight of the situation. So he's okay. Am I correct, Damon, in saying you're okay with your daughter being chaperoned to your car?
I'm okay with whatever needs to be done as long as my daughter doesn't start feeling like something is wrong, and then in the eyes of my employer, I'm not appearing or felt to be guilty until proven innocent. Because I'm not in the least bit worried about these charges. I understand that they are serious. I understand the complication of the situation, but at the same time, I also understand, because I'm in the situation, and I understand the way laws go, I'm innocent until proven guilty. And so I'm not in the least bit worried about the situation. I don't want to be found guilty and then found innocent later on. That's my concern.
which I understand, and it's like I said, you echo the same sentiment. Anyone can be accused of anything, and that's what a charge is.
Correct.
Nonetheless, there's a duty to
uphold safety, and I understand that.
And that's the only thing, and that's why I said, okay, you present a unique tangent to the normal situation.
And the only reason I'm disappointed is because the same way you say that is the same way when I was talking about my grievances and I was talking about how I was being discriminated against at work. I said the same thing about my daughter. The way I know what's going on in the other classes is because my daughter is in the other classes, so I know I'm getting treated differently. That's all I'm saying.
I don't know anything about grievances. I don't deal with.
Ms. Powell knows and Mrs. Thibodeau knows. So that's where my frustration comes, because I've been saying these same things way before this situation came about. I'm a taxpayer in the district. My two kids go to schools in the district. I'm an alumni from the district, so I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. So even if I was hypothetically, which I don't even want to speak into existence, let's say I was hypothetically found guilty, I'm still a taxpayer in the district, and I'll still have two kids in the district.
All right, so we've reached,
That's a little above you, but I just...
No, it's not above.
I know above this situation here.
What I want you to understand is that my vested interest is not just as an employee, it is also as a taxpayer of the district. So I understand, like when you say that, I don't have children in the district, but I've been here, I've made this, well, I don't even need to get into that. But let me just go with this, okay? All that taken into account, the bottom line is, I think that we need to work out an agreement.
And I don't have a problem.
I don't think that the whizzing through dropping off, but there has been an issue raised about the amount of time, because technically, school facilities, school grounds, you know, depending upon which appellate court you want to go to, one says it is the grounds, one says it is, and what says it is. The bottom line is, it's Alief property. So let's work out the best solution for your child and move on.
so in saying that, you'll work
I'll work
a
it out.
location and, okay. All right, did you need to say anything else to Veronica?
I'll
All
call
right,
it.
Veronica, we're gonna finish
Thank
up. I
you,
think they're
sir.
gonna figure out a
I'm gonna give you
location
my cell
and
number
take care of
directly.
that.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay, thank you, Veronica.
you're welcome.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
So you will have a location for him? and
Yes,
You'll let me know what that
I'll
is?
set that up aside.
All right, I appreciate
That
it.
was my direct.
Okay. And I told my attorney I was coming here, and he told me to once again give you all my numbers. So again, if you want to talk, then
Yes.
I thought it's Kim or the attorney? Oh, your number.
Yeah, no, I want his number.
you want whose number?
Your number.
281-451-4597, DAMON, VARONE.
Okay. Yeah, that way, as soon as I get
Your-
the logistics worked out, I'll give you a ring. Say,
Okay.
hey, here's how we'll go from here.
Sounds good.
Make it easy for me.
Okay.
All right. And if possible, like, if whoever you get to walk my daughter, can it not look like a police officer? Because she is.
It's not gonna be a police.
I
don't think we need a police officer to do this, and I honestly don't. I mean.
I just don't want my daughter to be like something is going on. She's already gonna be funny that she's getting walked out. So to all of a sudden be getting contacted, walking back and forth with a police officer.
No, it's not gonna be, I wouldn't do that to an elementary
Okay.
child. It's not gonna be a police officer. That's why I said, you need to give me some time to go and work.
I got
this
you.
out.
Appreciate it. I just
No,
want
wouldn't do
to
that. No.
state my concerns while I'm here.
Yeah, like I said, you said that you have a vested interest. I have probably a vested interest also. You know, what year did you graduate from Alief School?
92.
Okay, I was here in 92. Okay,
Yeah.
I was here, man, when they were still calling me coach instead of officer.
Yes.
Okay, so you understand that I live in the district.
Right.
So
And
I
I
have a
do
vested
is what I love the
interest.
district.
All right, okay. All right, I'm good.
All right, I appreciate it.